Welcome back to the European Masters, everybody. We are having the final quarterfinal right now. MOUZ versus k1ck. MOUZ absolutely crushed the first game. Can our Polska Gurom-inducing k1ck first seed get back into it? Can we see a resurgence of the Ultra Liga here? Can they bring us to a level series?
And will they be facing their Polish brothers in the semi-final? Because they are the ones that got through on our previous series here. And for MOUZ, I think it's a bit of a revenge, actually. They got knocked out by the Poland #1 in 2020 spring. So for them, definitely looking to close this series out nice and proper.
Well, we are going to see k1ck Neosurf choose blue side this time round, so we'll have a switch up of things, and they are again banning away Leader's Akali. It has been a pick that has featured in the European Masters quite a lot, just not in Leader's hands. He has not been able to get hold of that pick.
100% ban against Leader and MOUZ. Is that Akali? And no surprise to see it being taken away again. I'm seeing now that k1ck are on the blue side, if they decide to do something a little bit different, mix it up a bit now in their draft, because they are going to have the luxury of having this first pick here. And is there any kind of power pick that k1ck really wants to get their hands on, that they can use against MOUZ to tie the series up?
Specifically for Shlatan as well. Like, Shlatan has been the driving force for k1ck. Like, he has been the guy that has kind of put this team in gear and like accelerated them through their games. And I think he had the right idea last time around to an extent, but he was just unable to capitalize when it mattered most. And I think for Shlatan, it's important to get him in a situation where he can do that for k1ck.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, honestly, the Zoe pick kind of handcuffed k1ck a little bit in that last game. Sure, it's Matislaw and it's Zoe, and you always have high expectations for that, but I just don't really think it worked in that draft particularly well. And I'm curious to see where they go now, because you have got Caitlyn and Ashe banned. These are the two picks that are quite interesting, quite power picks here in the bot lane, and two picks as well that k1ck likes to take for Puki style. Instead, they're going to put the focus on the jungle and the Graves instead. The benefit of doing this is you don't show any of your laners, so you can't get countered. But it is a very Shlatan pick in that sense.
It is a very Shlatan pick. It's in the same vein as Nidalee, realistically. In the same vein. Very high farming.
With a gun instead of spears.
Yeah, exactly. With a high-tech version of Nidalee.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little very, very heavy farming. You look to steal camps away from your opponent. This is almost certainly promisq's Galio here. We have no pretenses that Leader will be playing Galio in the mid lane, and it is going to be the Senna locked in for Jeskla as well. So now Puki style may be forced away onto something that we haven't seen too much from him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious to see what he goes for. There's
Ezreal.
There is a safe pick there as well. I kind of want to see Puki style's Misfortune. He's not going to pick it, obviously, with Lotinez, but he was known for that back in the day. I kind of want to throw back to Puki style. That's what I want to see. But it's cool. Ez is a great pick here. It's nice and staying safe as well. It's a really good kind of fallback pick when you start going down like the tier list of AD carries. Ez usually starts floundering around and like comes out the woodwork a little bit. And going to reply the Galio with the Braum. I think it's a pretty strong matchup, and also quite a Mystique style champion as well. Played this twice previously in EU Masters, and just that kind of like beefy support that he likes to pick up.
Well, we are going to see the Camille here, and as you said, like, even though Tolkin played it in the previous
I still
game,
think it's a flex.
It's still flexible. Like, Leader can still play this. We could potentially expect to see it in the correct matchup go to Leader in the mid lane. Renekton will be banned, and as we mentioned, Ibo, he has had a bit of the driving force spotlight. Ice Beasto, he has been an absolute monster for this team. Like you said, has been part of the European Masters since its inception in 2018, and he was a little bit subdued this game. He was really put under pressure by Tolkin, and we're used to seeing Ibo be a bit more aggressive, a bit more agency, and he just didn't quite get that on the Gangplank.
Yeah, it was his first Gangplank game as well, the EU Masters, and I do just think kind of overall, you're kind of just sitting back, and you're not. Well, as you say, agency is the perfect word. You're not the one driving that when you're playing Gangplank. It's more like a team style pick, and I do wonder, with Ibo here, the thing is he plays like everything. There's nothing that Ibo won't play. So it's like, what does he decide to do? Because I'm curious if k1ck really want to put him on more of like a role-playing top and just really slap him on something like an Ornn, just like not worry about it, just be really chill in that top side, and then have k1ck play around a different side of the map instead.
Sejuani getting banned away here. Obviously, the Sejuani-Camille combo is incredibly strong, so we're not going to see that in the hands of Obsess. Obsess, as you said, Sett being locked in. I would imagine that's an Obsess pick right now.
Obsess,
it's very facilitating. It plays well into the generic style that we see MOUZ play.
Yes, it's his most played champion so far in EU Masters, and he's really good on that champ, honestly. And I think it's really, really nice when you have strong solo laners. If you have a champion like Sett on your team, it's something that you can just like run around, do whatever you want. It's not really a champion that has to kind of like concede much of the jungle. It's very strong in that early game, and it makes it very good for setting up and enabling your solo laners. On the other hand here, K1ck now looking for their last 2 picks in their solo lanes. They're going for the Twisted Fate in that mid lane. That's nice.
I was just thinking, like, is that not like, that's a risky pick a little bit?
It's risky, but I think it allows you to dogpile into a side lane.
Okay.
And so what I think the strategy might be to attack bot side more, because when you have a Galio, it's good at leaving bot and helping other people out, but it's not like who's going to help him back, you know? So I think maybe that's like the idea here is that you've really just picked a comp that just wants to like dive or just go absolutely mental on that bot side. You know, if I am MOUZ, I'm looking at Jeskla, I'm looking, you know, the Jeskla and promisq probably sitting in their chairs next to each other, like, it's got to be one of those games, guys, isn't it? And there it is. The Ekko is being that rounded out pick for leader. He's only played 2 champions so far in EU Masters. Well, until that last game, and that was Sylas and Ekko. Sylas is banned, Ekko is picked. Just a standard leader pick here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's played a lot of it in the European Masters. And I kind of want to break down these compositions a little bit more. You mentioned the Twisted Fate, you mentioned the focus in bot lane here for Matislaw. What are you expecting from K1ck? Is this a composition that will have side lane pressure, or is this a composition that maybe just looks to get skirmishes and team fights?
Yeah, I'm thinking you just kind of want to collapse. You throw the TP, you blow the Ornn horn, and then you've got Twisted Fate ultimate coming through. There's double TP as well from those solo laners. I think Shlatan should have a nicer time of things, I would say, because I think he has a bit better lane setup this time around compared to last game. And last game when you had Gameplank in the top and you had Zoe in mid, they're kind of hard laners to play around, whereas this time you got Gold Card, probably the easiest CC ability for you to throw down at range for the Graves to then come through here. And also just playing versus like a melee Sett as well when you're Graves tends to make things a little bit easy for you to bully around. So I'm definitely looking to see whether K1ck can play through mid lane, unlock Matislaw, and then from that you dogpile into bot lane and try and ruin Jeskla and promisq's day.
MOUZ, their composition seems a little bit similar to previous. It has the 1-3-1 potential, the double teleport with the strong solo laners. You know, likely that leaders are going to be searching for 1v1s, right? They just don't have they don't quite have the same level of wave clear without the Ziggs this time around. But it has similar like themes, similar thematics to their previous composition, right?
I would honestly argue like that potentially is one of the weaknesses of MOUZ, is like their comps tend to have a similar identity from game to game. Now that identity is great, and they do it very, very well. That is a flash forward from Matislaw.
There's a flash forward from Mystiques as well.
All right. Oh, that's BM, mate.
Who are they going to give it to? Gives it over to Shlatan. Shlatan saying, I'm going to get you back this time, mate.
Yeah.
And he's going to stay on this red side jungle too.
Right as it spawns. Right as this red buff spawns here, they get that kill. That really sucks for Obsess, actually. Late invades on your buff are the most tilting things if you're playing jungle, straight up. Because not only do you die, but it completely ruins your early game. He just Obsess just hex flashed over the wolf wall, by the way, to get to the wolves quicker running from spawn. I just saw it on the minimap, his head popped across. And I just think at this point it's perfect for Graves. You know, he's going to easily triple buff Obsess. That's going to nullify Obsess's early game with Sett, which is quite a strong early game champion in that jungle. And that's what Shlatan, as a player and K1ck as a team, what they want to have happen is to get Shlatan going. Perfect start for that.
And that's what they wanted to do in the previous game. It just didn't quite work out. I mean, again, the idea was there, but as you said, maybe the combination between Nidalee and Zoe maybe not optimal unless you're able to find a very, very strong early, or like catch the Sejuani out with that buff previously. But this time round, this is the start that Shlatan wants. He's going to be able to 3-buff unless the confidence from Obsess is there to go and walk in through that river and try and get a buff for himself.
Yeah, I mean, he might try and go for it. I'd be a little bit surprised because I think, mid Matislaw will easily just collapse on you if you're Obsessed. Like, if you do walk into the bot side jungle, I don't think that you'll be able to do that without getting punished. On the plus side, you do have MOUZ pushing in bot, so maybe they could roam up and help you out. But in all honesty, the most likely scenario here is just that Obsess can't really do anything. He's going to hover around until this crab spawns, and there's the Hex Flash with the phase rush. But Matislaw knows exactly where he is, and he's not going to fall for that one.
Yeah, he's aware that he lost Flash very early on in a matchup that can be pretty volatile as well, and Obsess was hanging around, trying to make sure that he was able to potentially support Leader in an early kill on Matislaw, but Matislaw knew exactly what was happening, and actually now Leader Are they going to head bot, or are they going to go and take the red buff? It looks like they're actually heading bot here for a potential dive. Like, very, very low HP bars.
There's double TP, though, on the side of K1ck. I think this would be quite risky, but MOUZ kind of sniffing around.
Yeah.
Not sure about that one, to be perfectly honest with you. And now we're going to get a bit of a fight over this scuttle, a scuffle for the scuttle. That's what we like to see early on. You know what? I'm chatting absolute rubbish. That's not going to happen.
He's actually just heading over to red buff here.
And I think they were thinking about it. I think
yeah.
K1ck was thinking about it. They were moving down together. There were pings going on. But, you know, this is the safe play here. And you know, you just get one crab each and are going to finish up with that triple buff on.
Bot lane is in such a terrible place as well to go for a
Yeah, awful.
Yeah, like there's no way you try and fight when your bot lane's like, I'm just under turret.
Yeah, that's not going to work. On the plus side, the 2v2 mid-jungle is a bit better for K1ck this game round.
Absolutely.
But it would not be a 2v2, so definitely don't want to take that.
And something actually, you know, we talked a little bit about in the previous game is just how there is a multi-threat aspect to MOUZ. Like, usually when you have a team, you're like, leader's the main threat, like, and everybody else plays to facilitate him. But with MOUZ, Tolkin on Camille, we saw what he was capable of the last game. Obviously, leader speaks for himself. And then you have Jeskla and promisq, arguably one of the strongest bot lanes in this entire competition. And actually, Puki style, you know, and Mystiques, they are under pressure this game. They are down, you know, roughly 15 CS. And it's been excellent pressure from Jeskla and promisq early on.
Ibo just going to have to flash away from this one. Leader was also moving up right now. And this is really hideous because there's another wave coming in topside. And that's going to freeze right in front of Tolkin's tower. And Ibo's going to have nothing to do about it. He can't walk up because he's got no flash and he knows that Obsess is around. Actually, I'm lying again. That's not going to freeze at all. Tolkin was already putting in a push, mate. Whenever I say something as a fact, just disregard that fact. I feel like I'm a little bit off on these facts.
Don't worry, mate. It's not all about facts. Sometimes it's just about the confidence with which you say them.
That's true.
That's how I've lived my casting career since it began. If I just say something really confidently,
I think it's a good strat for life in general, to be perfectly honest with you.
Oh, Mystiques and Puki style. Mystiques hovering around promisq right here. They're going to try and get the stun off, but it won't come through. Actually, that wave looks like it's pushing towards Jeskla and promisq right now, and Puki style and Mystiques have not been in a great spot when it comes to the 2v2.
And now in this top side, I reckon Shlatan's going to try something here because he has popped that blast cone. The pings are going down. We want to get a good reset here for Ibo, and you know, Camille does have her flash, but all Ibo needs, as I say, is that reset. So this gank doesn't have to do anything special right here. You know, like you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to even get the kill. Shlatan's being really patient here. Does have that red buff as well, which makes Graves' ganks pretty scary. Instead, just gonna walk away and go for this crab, which is spawning soon. Yeah,
he's had a really good early clear. With the 3 buff, picked up a couple of camps on Obsess's side, has actually got an experience advantage, but MOUZ are so confident because of where their bot lane is right now, and I guess because they can predict where Shlatan is in the map, going straight for this dragon. Obsess will take it very quickly, and that will start off that soul time.
Shlatan's going to do I would imagine, I think, maybe, Shlatan was pinging towards the enemy red buff there as if he wanted to do an immediate retake of that one. But Obsess going to take this dragon here is pretty much best case scenario for him in this game because he is 2 levels down. He's getting mullered in that CS department as well. And to be honest, this is a good example of what you want to do when you're playing. You know what? I'll hold this door because something could be happening here.
Something could be happening here. Missed the knock-up somehow. Great Hextech ultimatum to stop the knock-up coming through, but Tolkin forced to back away. Here comes Matislaw. Should be an easy pickup for him. Ibo not even going to try. Just going to go. Oh, he is. Yeah, he is. Straight. Mate, he came up here.
A bit rude, to be honest.
A little bit rude. I'm not going to lie.
That's an underrated thing about this play, though. The Twisted Fate Destiny revealed Obsess on his red buff. So that sets up this Shlatan invade.
And Obsess forced to flash. Not a good start here, but a great return to form for the K1ck roster. The #1 seed from the Ultra Liga. You know, they had a rough first game, but they reset.
And this is something which I actually do want to... I want to put more of a highlight on that. Like, I feel like with the way that MOUZ played that first game, it was exceptionally dominant. Probably the most one-sided game we've seen in entirety of E-Masters, or at least one of them. And we're hyping up MOUZ, we're hyping up the players, the talent that they've got, and all of that stands true. MOUZ are a phenomenal team. They've got great players. But K1ck, they were the finalists in spring. This is the #1 seed out of the Ultraliga. Ultraliga being one of the best regions in the entirety of Europe.
Hey,
these guys are great.
I'm going to even go further than that.
Do it.
They're the second best region because they got 2 in the top 4 previously, and they only lost out to the LFL. I think arguably in terms of representation, in terms of relative strength and what we've seen, the Ultraliga are almost certainly the second best region in Europe right now. And they are looking to turn that into the first best region. They have Ekko Rogue in a semi-final already. If K1ck were to win here, they would secure themselves another all-Polish semi-final, guaranteeing another shot at the title.
Yeah, and I just think this game is side out so differently compared to the one we saw of last game. It's like if you've only tuned in for game 1 of this series, and you haven't seen previous games from MOUZ or from K1ck, you might think that this is just a wildly kind of mismatch in this quarterfinals here, which really is not the case. K1ck are a great team, and I think you're really seeing the strength of what K1ck does well. You know, Shlatan really taking control, with Matislaw as well being able to play more of like a facilitator, an enabler, and almost like a nullifier as well in that mid lane.
Yeah.
And just kind of like wave clear and then help out his team.
This is not even just like, I mean, this is Shlatan. In a solo queue game, if my jungler was level 7 and the enemy jungler was level 5, I'd be like, wow, this game's done. Yeah. Like Shlatan is in such a strong position on this grid, and that is why they prioritized him in the draft. They believe there is a jungle difference to exploit, and he is proving it right now. Yeah,
definitely. I think if there is going to be a jungle difference, Slatan's going to be one of the players to make it happen. He's really good at doing that. I do want to say it, if you're playing in solo queue and you find yourself in this position, because you're bound to have games like this where you just got you're getting bullied by the enemy jungler, you're playing jungle, your team's not helping you, nothing's happening, you don't know what you're meant to do. What Obsess has done this game is a really good textbook example of how you still make yourself useful. Yeah. Exactly. Like he's avoided Shlatan wherever possible, and he's played around the strong part of his map, which is the bot side. He's even taken that dragon, right? And he's not decided to play, like, do anything 2v2 mid, do anything necessarily where he might find Shlatan. Instead, he's just sitting where he knows he's got strong members on his team, so that if something happens, the weakness of himself will be overrun by the strength of his team, as we're going to get a semi-dive here as Tolkin's jumping out of tower range.
Yeah, he is, but he was trying to get the kill, and Shlatan just pops around. Matislaw, he's not getting any love for these ultimates. I mean, everything's stolen away from him, but he's going to be first tower. And I've got to give credit to the K1ck bot lane. They have weathered a storm. Now, the storm may still be brewing as the Hex Flash being channeled. Obsess keen to make something happen, but the nullifying Braum ult comes out. And oh my word, they push them back. Beautiful defensive play from the K1ck bot lane.
Yeah, and a lot of respect being shown there to Sett, and specifically his ultimate as well. If you get suplexed as Ez or as Braum, you're just dead there. Like it doesn't matter where you are under the tower, because you're out of the tower. He's just going to throw you straight out of that, and then you've got to hit him with the preemptive flash, or you're just going to die. That's 2 towers actually taking in that top side.
Do you know when we were talking about MOUZ when we first came into this competition, and we said, how do you summarize MOUZ as a team? And I remember someone saying, coin flip? And it does seem a little bit like that in this game. Like, we've gone from a game where at 10 minutes they had a 3,000 or 4,000 gold lead to at 10 minutes they've got a 4,000 gold deficit. It is nutty, kind of the 2 faces of MOUZ that you get. Like, when you figure out how to put a lid on that explosive power of the mousesports roster, they don't quite have that same like dominant power that they usually do. But look, again, they're coming down towards the bot lane. Mystiques is going to be the target that teleports, and the TF ultimate coming through, and Obsess will be the immediate target. As you mentioned, promisq, not going to get the huge effect with that ultimate, but he will buy some time as Mystiques take him very low, and Leader will pick up the kill. MOUZ, they're in their element in these skirmishes. They'll take 1 kill for their troubles, and that is a good result for them.
K1ck needed to be a bit more respectful there because they didn't have Shlatan. He was still running down. And without Shlatan, as the observers quite nicely highlighted with that the gold totals there, Shlatan is most of K1ck's lead right now. As you see, like 2.5k gold lead right there. Like, that's mad. You're fighting without that, you're losing basically everything you built yourself up for in this early game.
It's going to allow MOUZ to go for the 2nd dragon in the game here. Let's have a look at that again here, Foxy. This was the attempted gank on the bot lane, responded to very well by K1ck.
So it's all well and good here with what MOUZ are doing to engage here, because you do have that double TP. You see Leader starts channeling, then Tolkin starts channeling. This is going to be like a pure on 5v5. But if you look at the minimap, Shlatan has just now hit the tri-bush. He's not done anything. Press W, 1 auto attack. bam. He got one auto attack off in that entire fight, and that's not me flaming Shlatan for being crap at right-clicking. He's just not there. So you can't take that play.
It's very aggressive. Onto promisq here. promisq coming back in. The Ornn ultimate there as well. Suplex back into tower as he knocks up and gets the kill. Ibo trades 1-for-1. Jeskla will take that donated gold, and K1ck will back out of the red side jungle.
That is classic Ibo. I don't know, I just watched that play and I just think he's under tower, there's 3 people there, he's playing Ornn, and
he
he's gonna
still
kill
gets a kill.
Like, that's just, yeah, they're setting up a, they set up a trap here, but I mean, MOUZ know this is happening. They see it on the sweeper. promisq decides that it's still a good thing to go for. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't feel particularly vulnerable in that position if I were promisq either. But it's just a lot of damage really coming through from the side of K1ck. You have to respect that. You know, 1-for-1 at the end of the day is not a big deal either way. But if you can catch Galio, who is the tankiest member of MOUZ, especially with that Aftershock, that's keep your eyes peeled on the pick potential of K1ck, because that's a lot of damage. If you can break through the Galio, imagine what you can do to everyone else.
So we, I believe, are going to see another Ocean Soul on the menu here. We didn't even get to Soul Point, I don't think, in the previous game, but it is on the cards for MOUZ with these 2 dragons already set up, and we have got the 3rd dragon spawning in 3 minutes' time. I believe there'll be another Rift Herald on the menu relatively soon also. So plenty to think about for both of these teams over the next few minutes as Mystiques goes aggressive onto Leader. I don't think you'll get the blue buff. Leader will back out away with that buff. But what do you do here? What is this at the point at which you start to open up the 1-3-1 for MOUZ? Like, what is your game strategy from this point onwards for both K1ck and MOUZ?
MOUZ is definitely looking for 1-3-1 here, because I do think in like pure 1v1s, you're pretty sorted. I think Ekko into TF is a fine 1v1 pick. You know, you can even see it in the CS totals. Like, Ekko is 40 CS ahead right here. That's pretty significant for this stage of the game. But TF has just been doing things across the map. You haven't picked TF to be Ekko. You know, that's just not, you don't pick TF to do that. So I think what MOUZ is looking to do is they want to split up the map as much as they can. You can also, if you are getting collapsed on, let's say K1ck goes for Camille, you've got the Galio ulti there, you've got the Jeskla ulti there. Like, you can throw things down to try and turn the split push in your, like, to try and turn the collapse in your favor. Whereas K1ck are going to look for more of a traditional style of just grouping up and playing the kind of standard League of Legends game.
I guess also with the TF Ultimate, you have the option to play cross map if you need to, right? Like,
sure.
Like, if there is a situation where you need to get something from a split push scenario, or you need to get something to respond to a split push from MOUZ, you have that ability to collapse with relatively like risk-free with the TF Ultimate, because you're always going to be able to TP back if you free up that TP with the summoners with the spellbook anyway.
Absolutely. And now Tolkin's doing a cheeky little freeze here in front of his inhib tower. I know a certain someone that might be happy with that, but SL something? M&S? No, what is it? I can't remember. Something along those lines. It's not freezing.
I have no idea what you're talking about, honestly. Absolutely none. Here comes the ultimate from Ibo. Ooh! Slightly misjudges where Jeskla will be, but they will force the flash at the end of the day, so they have burnt a relatively important defensive summoner spell from Jeskla.
Yeah, and that is also the Destiny going down from Twisted Fate, however. So that relieves a lot of pressure on the map here, especially in those side lanes. So as you're seeing here, Leader now feels confidence to walk up. He can't get caught out of position by this Ram Jam anymore. That has been used. That is on cooldown. TF won't collapse either. And again, this goal difference is just expanding in this jungle. We're now up to 3K difference. That's huge. However, on the other hand, if you look at Leader as well, that CS difference is still adding up, and he is going to be a threat this game in those pure 1v1s, and Matislaw is going to have to stay towards those team plays.
A lot of eggs put in the top lane basket here when a relatively important dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. We have that 3rd dragon of the game. It gives up Soul Point, you know, for MOUZ if they were to take it, and you can see MOUZ collectively grouping around that Drake. They want to make their presence known, they want to ensure they have good setup for it, but K1ck are responding. K1ck are heading back down towards that bottom side of the map, and looks like they're going to drop that Rift Herald in the mid lane to provide a little bit of distraction, or at least force MOUZ to respond and make a decision around the spawn of this Drake.
I think they're genuinely going for this tower. Like, I don't think they realize. I think K1ck's a bit surprised here that they're being able to just take this tower. Yeah. But yeah, you get that tower and then you rotate straight into this dragon. Tolkin is resetting.
Do they just not want to contest it?
I think No, I don't think they should. I don't think MOUZ should, but yeah, okay, they're going for it. Tolkin's going for that flank TP. I think that's Tolkin. Yeah, that is. That's both of them.
It's a little bit late. They both teleported into the red side jungle here immediately.
Oh, no.
Tolkin taken down. iBo with the kill. Here comes promisq as Leader's doing his best on the back line to deal damage, but he'll get locked down with that gold card. Another gold card on top as well. And that'll be a double kill for the K1ck roster. MOUZ, just a complete miss-execution.
Yeah, miss-execution. That's a lot of syllables. I can do it in one. Int. That's. I'm not really sure. I think. I just don't. You know, MOUZ, you have to respect the fact that Graze is huge at this point. Like, Dragon goes down really, really fast. Sure, you might be strong individually when it comes to like Ekko having some stuff going on, and bot lanes kind of making it happen as well. But you're not going to win that fight. And you also pulled the trigger a bit too late there as well. I think Tolkin's CP wasn't even up, by the way, before. I think he used it on cooldown. And now K1ck are the ones who want to collapse with the TP.
Yeah, they do have the Ornn horn, and it will be thrown out. Well, not K1ck this time around. They didn't have the vision. They were making a little bit of a wild prediction, but they are cornering the MOUZ roster.
Oh, no, that's not fair.
And another TP coming through. Twisted Fate again, trying to find his mark. They're going to get the stun onto Jeskla, taking him down very low. In the meantime, though, Obsess finds one. They'll trade 1-for-1 overall as Shlatan backed out of the fight on low HP. It is actually a fairly good situation for MOUZ right now, but iBo, again, an assassin on the Ornn. Leader will get the shutdown, and it is a 3 versus 3. Can MOUZ trade back? They can. Shlatan can only do so much, and MOUZ come out on top.
Yeah, that's crucial for MOUZ right there. Getting those kills onto Leader as well. Really being able to leverage the strength of this Ekko pick. And K1ck are the ones who started that play. They're the ones who tried to cut off MOUZ in that mid with the TP. And then another TP will follow up as well down towards the bot side. And I just kind of want to see what happens to Puki style here, because he gets deleted pretty early on. And I think whenever you're chasing this far for a play, it really just it gives a lot of time for your opponents to really gather themselves and think about what they want to do. Like, Puki style jumps up right here, and I'm curious. He just gets bopped. The Obsess just wallops him.
Yeah.
That's just that, you know. And that's, I think that's a pretty big miss, honestly. I think this is not a play that K1ck should lose. And I think maybe a tad bit of execution error here, but credits to MOUZ being able to really mop this one up. And this, you know, they're getting kills on some good targets here too. And I think this is the exact kind of play that you need if you are MOUZ in a position like that, where you just catch the enemy team being a little bit too far forward and you punish them for it.
And Leader also picking up some much needed gold. He's got the Lichbane, he's got the belt, working towards his third item also. So he's looking pretty scary, especially in a 1v1 scenario. And as an assassin potential, having that Lichbane on top of everything else does mean he's going to provide that extra threat to Matislaw and Puki style. Mystiques going to have to be careful here. He's going to be chased down by Obsess, but the Unbreakable will allow him to retreat towards that mid lane. MOUZ are just trying to get control of their red side jungle back. They're just pushing that vision line up to at least give them some opportunity to scout around and clear out Baron.
And this is because you're a little bit stronger now. You can have the confidence to walk up. If you're behind as MOUZ, looking to even push Mystiques out of your jungle is quite risky, because it's really hard to bring him down, and if there's anyone nearby, it's really easy to bring you down. But as they had picked up those kills just now, they were able to do a little bit more here and really just, like you say, get a vision line in their jungle as K1ck now rotate to the bot side of the map. They're going to look to take this tower down. I don't know if MOUZ has the appropriate response to this, because there is 2 people in the top side here. I think they're just going to go for Matislaw instead.
Yeah, Matislaw definitely going to get a suplex straight into the arms of Leader. That's going to be a Zhonya's to buy time, or the stopwatch coming out, and now Matislaw will flash out as well.
How the...
MOUZ unable to execute on that kill, and Matislaw to keep safe for the time being.
I'm not going to lie, I really thought that was a wasted stopwatch there. I genuinely thought he was just going to die anyway. But, you know, Twisted Fate with that phase rush as well, coming through with that flash. I guess they'd already used, you know, like the Sett ultimate to put him out of position, and just able to walk away from that one.
I don't even think he's got phase rush. He's in a spellbook. He just literally flashed.
He seems to... Yeah, I think he's... Yeah, maybe you're right. I thought he zoomed a little bit, but whatever, it's cool. Either way, he gets out of that one, and that's pretty important there for K1ck, because if you remember on the bot side of the map, MOUZ lost that bot tower. So it really was a lot of pressure on MOUZ to make that happen, to trade that in the top side, and they weren't able to do it.
MOUZ struggling to execute on that classic 1-3-1 style at the moment. They just aren't getting enough pressure with their individual laners. You can see now Tolkin pushing down towards that tier 2 in the bot, but it's so quick to respond here with the Destiny and with how quick Shlatan is around the map. Like, there isn't much that MOUZ can punish when it comes to these plays.
Yeah, but I also think here it's risky for Kick because, all right,
Shlatan being focused down. Matislaw taking low, doesn't have that flash, and is immediately killed. Leader continues the pressure. Great ultimate to delay things out here, but the rest of MOUZ are ready to pounce. Although I say that, Jeskla not able to get across the ball. They should get 2 for 1 overall. This should be a dragon secured. MOUZ able to respond very nicely to that play.
Ibo wasn't there for any of that fight. Imagine if you had that ram coming through that choke point. That would be crazy. But he is here now. He's pretty beefy just by himself. He might be able to dissuade MOUZ from going this at all, but all right, let's see what happens.
He's going to flash away here. Here comes Tolkin on the backside as well. Maybe able to trade one as Obsess keeps himself safe. There's going to be a steal away by Shlatan. And it's now 2 versus 2. Jeskla and MOUZ versus Shlatan and Puki style. Can they make it happen? Jeskla forced a flash. That's going to be the Destiny 2. They should be able to secure leader and actually K1ck, turn it on its head. They get the dragon, and they're going to be able to pick up a couple of kills also.
Yeah, leader's going to go down for this one. And that was a pretty good TFO, which is funny because, as you said, Destiny 2, I thought Destiny 2 was crap. But anyway, that was a pretty good one. And this is all because K1ck started this fight. Look at Ibo, he's on the top side. You don't have TP advantage. Like, this is just a pure 5v4. And considering how close this was for K1ck, they should consider themselves pretty lucky here. And maybe it's just a testament to how well they played this. You got a choke point with Braum ulti, with Ez ulti, with Gray's abilities. It's the perfect place to fight for K1ck. The fact that they don't even have Ibo there is just, it's mad that they're still able to kind of run away and lick their wounds. And then he does come in. Here comes a big boy, the metal boy right there in the middle of your screen. He does so much damage here. It's actually, man, Ornn, I don't understand this champion. I don't think anyone really understands this champion, but he buys enough time, does enough damage for not only K1ck to dissuade MOUZ from the dragon, but they take it for themselves.
They're going to even up the dragons. They're going to delay Soul for that much longer. And do you remember last game where I talked a little bit about scaling? I'm going to throw that same question your way this time round. If we are pushing this game out towards 35 minutes, 40 minutes, who does it favor?
I'm still going to put it on the edge of K1ck, I would say. I think it's kind of close, and I think it mostly comes down to execution because let's say Ekko catches as he's dead. 1 second, bam, he's gone. You know, and I think that's always something which you can look for opportunities like that. But I just think that K1ck's comp is a lot easier to execute. I think the engage from MOUZ mostly comes from either Obsess running in or Tolkin running in and then having Galio jump on top of your head. And I think that's kind of like a suboptimal way to engage. And with K1ck, anytime you've got something like, you know, the Ez on your team that's just gonna be able to fire things out from range, you've got Twisted Fate gonna be doing something similar as well. And just with how like amazingly like overfed Shlatan is, like he's sure he's low range, but he's gonna just delete anyone on the side of him.
You can really feel the strength of the Ultra Leaguer in this game as well. To come back of a game like their first game and be like throwing the kitchen sink at MOUZ every single fight here. This is a true performance of a finalist from the previous European Masters. This is the Ultra Leaguer that we came to expect, the Ultra Leaguer that did have 2 seeds in the top 4, and are looking to repeat that same success, guarantee themselves a finalist here. You know, the Polish scene has a lot to prove, and the only way they can prove it is by winning, because the only thing that betters their spring performance is that title going back to Poland. Yeah,
they have a lot and a little to prove at the same time. It's a lot to win, but that's all they have to do. And there it goes, Matislaw with the Destiny. He's going to catch out promisq.
promisq will flash away here. I don't think you can overextend as K1ck, even though the gold card comes through. Ibo now is going to be the focal target for MOUZ, but he's very tanky, and K1ck are able to support each other as they exit back through that mid lane.
And that is just something you have to be careful of right now, as we're playing more towards these objectives, such as the Baron. If you're K1ck and you have control of the game, you can control the vision, you sweep that vision around, which then forces MOUZ to walk a bit further forward to try and get some vision to check and see what you're up to if you are doing that Baron, because you don't want to give it away for free. But if you are walking further forward, it makes you more vulnerable to getting collapsed on. And what better champion to catch you out of position than Twisted Fate, who can teleport onto your face, gold card you, and get the follow-up from his team.
just been informed, it's Nimbus Cloak that gave him the little speed boost.
That's the word. I was saying, I was saying Phase Rush. I meant Nimbus Cloak.
I get confused between the two. But, yeah, Nimbus Cloak gives him that little speed
I think I said that last game as well. Too many words, man. Who invented language?
That's a philosophical question that I don't think we have time to answer.
Well, it depends how late the game goes.
That's true. We were talking about scaling. Dragon Soul's still a whale off, so I guess we can get right into it. But no, I think for MOUZ as well, this, like, we said the last game personifies MOUZ. I think this game also kind of personifies MOUZ. MOUZ are like a team that when they're ahead, they have a comp and they have champion picks that generally tend to do incredibly well in that situation. But when they're behind, because they just like to fight and skirmish and build gold leads through essentially killing you over and over again, like MOUZ generally, wow, I think they'll trade Baron, but yeah, MOUZ generally, when they're behind, they do struggle to find those big moments. But I would never count MOUZ out in a team fight. Like, I will never count MOUZ out.
If you're looking for a big moment, Keenan, I think we might be having one coming up soon.
Yeah, the Baron has been started up here. MOUZ are looking to respond to it. Everybody is on the right side of the map, and K1ck, they're going to keep it going, actually. I thought they were backing off here. Are we going for a pure 50-50 in this scenario?
No, please. Please.
I don't like the 50-50s, mate. I'm never a big fan.
I don't think it's going to be a pure 50-50 here, though. Ibo is keeping it at least. She's extremely tanky. I think K1ck are kind of trying to play a bit of chicken here. Make MOUZ walk away, but
they're trying to force MOUZ to make a move. Ibo's still tanking up here, losing a very small amount of HP, as you said. It's not a pure 50-50 because the level differential, still 3 levels in the advantage for Shlatan, so his smite will be stronger. That's the ultimate coming through. Dawning Shadow lands. Now that Matislaw, the target gets blown up.
Oh no.
Tolkin finds the edge on the side of the fight here. K1ck left it too long, and MOUZ come out on top.
K1ck, you really messed that one up. You had an idea, you are playing around the Baron, you are forcing MOUZ's hand, and they gave you what you wanted. Unfortunately, it works out for them. Tolkin able to catch out Matislaw with that Hextech ultimatum. You may think a champion that can teleport anywhere on the map at any given time will be pretty good at staying away from people, but you can't get out of the baby cage. And that's exactly what happens. Tolkin in a brilliant position here for that flank. Matislaw just not respecting this. And there it is. Just catch him out of position. There's nothing you can do. You collapse on Matislaw. Maybe there's an opportunity there if K1ck are all in the Baron pit where you can rush that down while everyone's gone and paying attention to Matislaw, but that was not the case. And just a tiny bit of execution error there from the side of K1ck. But honestly, I really just want to put props to Tolkin for making that happen because he saw the opportunity. And that's what separates good players from like game-changing players. I think that is a game-changing move because something had to happen there. From either K1ck or MOUZ, something had to happen that was either going to make that play or break that play. Tolkin took it into his hands and he saved MOUZ a pound.
And bought them more time and secured Soul Point as well.
Yep.
So it was a big swing for MOUZ. Even though the gold lead still firmly in favor of K1ck, a lot of that is coming directly from Graves, one imagines. Like with the oh my god, look at the CS discrepancy. I've literally been so absorbed, but it is a 5,000 gold lead, 5,500 gold lead. The entire gold lead is Shlatan on this Graves. The man that we said needed to have the performance to carry his team. He has got the entire team on his shoulders with this gold lead right now.
Yeah, but how much of that actually works against K1ck's favor because it's only him?
Exactly. If he gets singled out and taken down, the rest of the K1ck roster maybe not in a strong position. Here comes a Destiny, just trying to buy some time, see where everybody is for MOUZ. Are we going to see a 50-50 around the Baron? Shlatan should have the smite that works for his leaders over the wall, trying to buy some time here. Oh, it's the smite. It does go to Shlatan, but the fight looking like it's working out well for MOUZ right now. Leader on the back line, trying to do his best. They immediately try to chase back, though. It is a 2-for-1 at the end of the day. The Dawning Shadow comes through, buys time, but look at Shlatan. The man can't be killed, and Puki style follows up. The Polish #1 seeds, they are on fire.
Mate, that's the 5,000 gold lead right there. Shlatan able to secure the Baron with that level advantage as well with a higher damage smite. But also, you saw him in the team fight. He's just walking forward. He's just putting his pressure out, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care about anything. He does so much damage. He's so hard to kill.
I mean, look at the items.
Yeah.
Death Dance, Black Cleaver, got the jungle item, obviously. I think that's Sanguine Blade on top of that.
That's...
Sorry.
Umbral Glaive.
Umbral Glaive, that's literally, I can't see because I have no eyes. Umbral Glaive, yeah, I mean, he's just so, like, both tanky, but also dealing insane amount of damage.
And a lot of that just comes from level difference as well. 4 level difference from Shlatan over to Obsess. I suppose, honestly, that's something that maybe we were underplaying a little bit here as well. I think I should have put a bit more emphasis on the fact that it's not really a 50-50. That's a 4 level difference.
That's a 4 level difference.
That's quite a significant thing. And sure, you know, with all the damage that's flying around, it's a 200 damage difference with Smite. It's not like sure, you can undersell or oversell a Smite by 200. It's not like a crazy scenario that Obsess gets that, but it's definitely in Kick's
definitely
favor.
a significant advantage when it comes to Smite Wars for sure. But I always get concerned because I've seen this happen so many times.
I just panic.
Yeah, I panic. I absolutely panic. I even panic for teams when I watch it happen because, you know, in the heat of the moment, judging those smites can be...
It is so tough. It really is, yeah.
But K1ck, super strong position right now. Leader doing his best to split push in the side lanes, but it looks like K1ck want to force the issue. Like you said, they can just group, and they don't have like a fancy composition to execute on. It kind of does what it says on the tin. They're just going to run down and force these fights.
Okay, this is a pretty wide TP flank here from Leader, but the Twisted Fate Ultimate is going to see this one out, and K1ck now going to engage.
Straight onto Obsess, doesn't use the shield as effectively as he would like, and Leader now stuck with Ivo as the target. Matislaw jumps forward, Leader forced to ult, big ult coming through, and now promisq will try and support his mid laner, but K1ck have got what they wanted. They have the pressure in the base, and they're now running towards those Nexus turrets.
And K1ck have got it all in their sights right now. If they win this game, they're going to level up the series, and then it will be sudden death, the final game to decide who goes through to the semi-finals.
promisq's doing what he can with the taunt. They've already picked up 2 members as K1ck get another kill here. MOUZ unable to close it out swiftly, and Polska Gurom indeed. K1ck bite back 1-1, and we are going to a 3rd game.
That was a spicy game, actually. It wasn't quite as like dominant from start to finish as the previous game was, but I'd still say that was quite a one-sided.
I never felt like MOUZ were in control.
Yeah.
I always felt like K1ck had the pace of the game, and they knew what they wanted to achieve.
Definitely.
And all it took was one decisive fight around Baron to secure things out.
Yeah, and I really just think that Shlatan, when I watched that, it's just... They gave everything to Shlatan, right? All the resources, and hey, he rewarded his team for it, and they tied the series.
Well, K1ck will answer back. As you just saw, they'll keep their semi-final hopes alive. We'll talk more about it after the break. this is everything that I wanted from a series. I honestly came into that second game and thought, please, K1ck, like, make this a 3-game series. And the way that MOUZ played in the first game, I was certain that there was just not K1ck's day. They weren't going to turn up. MOUZ were going to do the MOUZ thing. But honestly, Shlatan. That's all I'm going to say. Shlatan. We like, he is the guy. He literally 1v9'd that game. Like, he was the gold difference, and it's very rare that you look at someone with the gold difference and think, like, they actually make the impact. But my word, he did.
He really did. I think, you know, game 1 of this series was MOUZ being MOUZ, and game 2 was K1ck being K1ck, I would say. And a lot of that is Shlatan, as you say. Like, in this last game, he took all the resources. They were even leaving kills for him in this game. And the thing is, you can take resources, but you have to do something with it. And Shlatan really did. He did reward his team for that. And there were times in this game where it looked like MOUZ might be able to make some things happen. The fights weren't completely dominant on K1ck's side, but honestly, as you said before the break, it never really looked like K1ck were losing control in this game.
No, there was definitely some issues in the bot lane early on, but I want to give massive credit to Puki Style and to Mystiques for just weathering the storm and allowing Shlatan to dominate top side of the map. Like, we talked about Tolkin being dependable and consistent. This game, he really was put under the hammer, both figuratively and literally by Ornn. Quite literally by Ornn. And obviously, this was that huge fight where that level advantage really came into play with this smite here, Foxy, and the fight was just all Shlatan.
Yeah, exactly. Just watch Shlatan in this fight. You can see it's just in the middle of everyone, just like, look at that. I mean, he went from being in the middle of the fight, and then he realized the fight was running away from him, so he flashed into the middle of the fight again. Like, there was just no personal space or anything like that.
He had gravity. He literally had gravity for the fight and his team. Like, he was the center mass for this roster in this game, and it really felt like it in the way that he played. And I actually remember talking to you before the series began, and you were like, I think there is a clear differential between the mid-jungle combos of MOUZ and of K1ck, in the sense that MOUZ, Obsess plays for leader. K1ck, Matislaw plays for Shlatan.
Yeah, they're both very strong mid-jungle duos, but as you say, just like opposite strategies. And yeah, I think we've seen both strategies at full force in game 1 and in game 2. And you're seeing the bracket here as well. We're now 1-1 in our series today, which means the next game decides it all.
And MOUZ have chosen blue.
Okay, that's what they were on game 1.
Blue side has got a 100% win rate in this quarterfinal thus far. And as Foxy said, we have that one game left to go. Winner takes all. The Dark region versus the Ultra Liga. Which region is going to have 2 teams in the top 4?
And one in the finals guaranteed.
Exactly. Both of these teams are able to secure at least a top 2, two teams in the top 4 at the end of this quarterfinal. A huge deal for both the Prime League and the Ultra Liga. So it's do or die, obviously, as these 2 teams head to their final game. We'll come back after the break. MOUZ versus K1ck, Ultra Liga versus the Dark. We'll see what happens. Hey everyone, and welcome to the EU Masters, where we pit the very best ERL teams against one another while showcasing up-and-coming European talent. 12 regions will compete to decide who will reign supreme over Europe, so be the first to scout and the first to cheer. Let's get right into it. EU Masters begins with the play-in group stage, where all regions will have at least one team represented, with a total of 16 teams divided into 4 groups. Here, each team will play against other teams in their group twice, with the top 2 seeds moving on to the play-in knockout stage. The winners here will move on to the group stage, where 12 teams have already pre-qualified. This group stage is where the teams will compete in a double round robin, with the top 2 teams advancing to the knockout stage. From September 15th to 16th, like before, top seeds will play against the second-seeded teams from other groups in a best-of-3, with winners moving on to the semi-finals. Here, the final 4 teams will play a best-of-3 and fight for their spot in the finals, where it'll be a best-of-5 to determine the next EU Masters champion. Each season, fresh talent explodes onto the Rift. The likes of Nemesis, Kazi, Selfmade and Humanoid all rose up through the EU Masters. But who will be this year's champion? Who will be the next breakout player to make it into the LEC? Join the ride, tag along and witness history in the making. Bye for now.